I want to talk a little bit about the subconscious brain today and why I believe it's so very important for us to realize that not only our subconscious brain matters a lot, but also how we affect other people's subconscious brain matters a lot. My name's Tarab. I make videos about emotional intelligence every day. The idea is to convince you to become the best version of yourself because, frankly, we need you. So, when it comes down to the idea of allowing things into our field of perception, when it comes down to the things that we witness in our lifetimes, the realities that we believe exist, perhaps the fantasy worlds that we participate in, when it comes down to all of this, we have to realize that it has an effect on our philosophy on life, our outlook, our perspective. And so, in a world where we're constantly getting bombarded by different types of pictures, AI generated, advertisements, sexuality, politics, blood, violence, love, peace, kindness, whatever it is, we need to know that whatever we allow more of into our lives is the way that we are going to think and feel. And I believe this concept is lost in our education system because the very people teaching us are not aware of what they're allowing into their lives. They're the same ones that are eating donuts every day. They're the same ones that are perhaps going home and partaking in unlimited hours of Netflix and then coming to the school and teaching their students that that's an okay thing, that's an okay way to live life. And I'm here to tell you that that is certainly not the best way to live life, because it is more interesting to be someone that pursues a better version of themselves than to remain the same. And our subconscious space has a tremendous amount to do with that. So be very, very careful in terms of how we formulate that. My recommendations always to my interns and the people that I help coach is, listen, you got to realize that wherever you're spending that time scrolling, doom scrolling, YouTube, whatever it is, wherever you're spending that time, you need to formulate that environment to be the most efficient in terms of getting you to become the person that you want to become and not just a product of seeing a bunch of random shit. How do we do that? How do we consistently do that to make sure that we're maintaining a level of excitement and a level of progress in the formulation of our environment? Well, I would say at least once a week we need to sit down and prune. We need to prune out the things in our life that are like, okay, this is taking attention away from what I am trying to get done. And these are ideals, and I can't even say that I necessarily live up to them all the time. But it is something that I'm aspiring to do consistently. Once a week, sitting down, looking through our Instagram, looking through our TikTok, whatever, and being like, these accounts have not contributed in any significant way in my life. Looking through our environment, literally physical environment, where we sit, where we do the work, where we play, where we socialize, all those little pockets of space. Ideally, they're not at the same computer table. That we're making sure to clean up those environments, to make sure that the things that we need to remind us of the task at hand in that physical location are present and are available. Furthermore, we need to be very, very aware of how advertisement and media works in general. Because as society moves forward and AI advances to the point where, I don't know if you're aware, but they can quite literally make very realistic looking videos with very realistic sounding individuals that aren't actual people. They're literally AI generated images and AI generated words. And it is very difficult for the average person to distinguish whether or not that person is real or AI generated. Now, what that tells me immediately is that we are easy to fool, our memories aren't great, And there are people that are going to be abusing this thing in order to make us feel and think differently. Because those same people are the ones that are spending millions of dollars on advertisements. So being very aware of the types of advertisements that are coming into our life and whether or not they are grasping at our fear or whether or not they're grasping at something that perhaps motivates us, pushes us forward. I used to think a long time ago, and I still do today, is our purchasing power, our ability to spend money in our economy, is indicative of our philosophy of the world. Stated another way, the brands that we choose to support, the things that we choose to buy, say we're a vegan and we don't buy meat, right? It's a revolt against that industry. The courses or content that we spend our time on, which is more valuable than money, that will shape the very world around us. And I think a lot of us have kind of gotten into a state of mind where our random actions don't have an effect. And I think it leads to a less satisfying life to believe that life is that way. So the subconscious is incredibly important and is constantly under attack from a lot of different attention sources. So we need to be very aware of ideally what type of person we want to be, so that the world doesn't influence us into becoming something that perhaps does not align with our values and identity. And B, what factors are actually influencing our environment? What are we allowing in? What are we purposely putting up on our walls to remind us about the greatness that we want to be exuding, or the opportunities that we want to provide, or the way we want to feel? What are we allowing to be around us? And being very, very skeptical about things. Now, there is certainly been a lot of room in the last many years for allowing all the information in and being gullible, which is to believe the things that come to us. But nowadays, I'm not saying be fearful. Being fearful makes life uninteresting. But be aware through your own experience of being perhaps let down. Be very aware that many companies, many industries are looking for your attention, and that they use specific colors to do this. They use specific types of models to do this. They use politics to do this. And we need to be able to turn that stuff off when we need to, and we need to be able to formulate a nurturing environment for ourselves. This life is not a sprint, it's a marathon. That's why the weekly cleanup is required. Hopefully you found this exciting. Hopefully you found it useful. My name is Tarab. I make videos about emotional intelligence every day. If you made it all the way through, smash that like button, subscribe, throw me a comment, let me know what you think about my thoughts. And if you're someone that's in college or university, I have an internship program that's currently free, and I mentor these different students from a bunch of different universities. If you have a child that you would like me to talk to about personal development, about finance, about business, about purpose in life, we basically meet every single day at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time on a personal meeting link. And the idea is to create thousands of leaders that believe in giving back to society, so that we can start parsing what it is that humanity is actually useful for as stewards of the environment around us. Actualize your potential catalyst. This world needs you. Take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next one.